Lord, I come to you today with dishes piled high in my sink and toys scattered across the floor. My hands are tired, my heart is racing, and the to-do list keeps growing longer with each passing hour. You see me in this chaos, the interrupted showers, the cold coffee, the meals prepared with one child on my hip. You understand when I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities that never end. In these moments of overwhelm, remind me that you called the weary to come to you for rest. Let me feel your presence even amidst the beautiful mess of motherhood. I confess that sometimes I measure my worth by how clean my house is or how well-behaved my children appear in public. The comparison steals my joy when I scroll through perfectly curated images of other mothers who seem to have it all together. But you, Lord, you see beyond the surface. You know that behind closed doors, we all struggle. You see the midnight tears, the prayers whispered in bathroom hideaways, and the deep breaths taken before responding to another mom call. Help me remember that you don't demand perfection. You invite authenticity and surrender. When anxiety wraps itself around my chest as I look at all the unfinished tasks, teach me to breathe in your peace. When my children need me in 3 different places at once, multiply my presence like you multiplied the loaves and fishes. When I feel inadequate because I raised my voice again or forgot the permission slip, whisper to my heart that your grace covers me completely. Your love doesn't depend on my performance as a mother. You cherish me not for what I accomplish but for who I am, your beloved daughter. Lord, transform my perspective on this beautiful chaos. Let me see the fingerprints on windows as evidence of curious minds exploring your creation. Help me view the endless laundry as a testament to the lives entrusted to my care. Show me that the crumbs under the table represent nourishment and gathering. Even the sibling squabbles are opportunities to teach your ways of forgiveness and reconciliation. Help me find the sacred within the mundane rhythms of motherhood, the divine purpose hidden in diaper changes, homework help, and bedtime stories. The weight of responsibility sometimes feels crushing. These souls you've entrusted to me, looking to me for guidance when I myself feel lost. The mental load becomes overwhelming. Doctor appointments, school projects, emotional needs, and spiritual formation. I worry about their future, their hearts, their faith. Lord, remind me that while you've called me to nurture them, ultimately they belong to you. You love them even more perfectly than I ever could. Release me from the burden of thinking their entire destiny rests on my shoulders alone. In moments when anxiety steals my sleep, when my mind races through worst-case scenarios, bring me back to your promises. When I feel stretched too thin, like butter scraped over too much bread, multiply my energy and patience. When perfectionism whispers that I'm failing because the house isn't Instagram-worthy and dinner came from a drive-thru again, help me extend to myself the same grace I so readily offer others. You see my efforts, my love, my silent sacrifices. You understand the unseen labor of motherhood. I surrender my mother's guilt to you, the constant feeling that I should be doing more, being more. Replace it with the truth that in my weakness, your strength is made perfect. When I worry that I'm not enough, remind me that you are more than enough. In seasons when motherhood feels isolating, when I long for adult conversation and uninterrupted thoughts, help me find community with other mothers who understand this journey. Create spaces where we can be honest about our struggles without fear of judgment. Today, I'm learning to embrace the beautiful mess. The toys across the floor mean children are creating and imagining. The sticky counters mean bellies are full. The calendar packed with activities means lives are being lived fully. Help me to see that an orderly home isn't always evidence of peace. Sometimes it's the laughter amid the chaos that truly reflects your joy. When I feel the pressure to maintain impossible standards, give me courage to choose presence over perfection, connection over cleanliness, relationships over rigidity. Lord, I invite you into every aspect of my motherhood journey. Be present in the carpool line and the grocery store tantrums. Be present in the homework battles and bedtime resistance. Be present in my exhaustion and my exhilaration. When I feel I have nothing left to give, fill me with your strength that never depletes. When anxiety threatens to steal the joy of these fleeting moments, ground me in the present. Help me pause, breathe, and notice the sacred gift of raising these little ones who will not be little for long. For those watching this video, remember you're not alone in your struggle. In the first pinned comment, you'll find our ebook, Don't Think, Trust and Surrender, that offers practical spiritual wisdom for managing anxiety as a mother. While it's not a replacement for professional help, many mothers have found comfort in its pages. You are seen in your struggle, valued in your effort, and loved in your imperfection. I release my need to control outcomes I cannot determine. The future of my children, their choices, their faith. I entrust all of these to you while faithfully doing the work of guiding them today. When worry about tomorrow threatens my peace in the present, bring me back to your promise that you hold all our tomorrows. When I feel inadequate for this calling, remind me that you equip those you call. You knew exactly what these children would need in a mother, and you chose me for them. In the midst of sleepless nights and endless demands, preserve my identity beyond motherhood. Help me remember that I am still your daughter first, loved, valued, and purposeful beyond my role as a mother. Remind me to nurture my relationship with you, to find moments for spiritual renewal even in busy seasons. When I feel distant from you because there's no time for lengthy devotions, help me see that you're present in the short prayers whispered while folding laundry or driving to activities. Lord, as I navigate the complexity of raising children in today's world, grant me wisdom beyond my years and experience. When social media, peer pressure, and cultural voices compete for their attention, help me guide them toward your truth with both grace and conviction. When I don't have answers to their difficult questions, give me humility to say, I don't know, but let's seek answers together. Protect their hearts and minds as they grow, and use even my imperfect mothering to reveal your perfect love. The mental load of motherhood, the constant planning, anticipating needs, remembering details, it drains me completely some days. I carry calendar dates in my head, preferences in my heart, and worries in my soul, all while trying to present a composed exterior to the world. Lord, you see this invisible work. You understand the cognitive and emotional labor that often goes unrecognized. When I feel depleted from constantly pouring out, remind me to return to you, the well that never runs dry, for replenishment. On days when anxiety makes me want to control everything and everyone, loosen my grip. Help me distinguish between what truly matters eternally and what simply feels urgent temporarily. When I find myself measuring success by productivity rather than presence, realign my priorities. In seasons when comparison with other mothers brings shame rather than inspiration, guide me back to your unique design for my family. You didn't call me to be like that other mother. You called me to be faithful with these specific children, in this specific home, in this specific season. Lord, transform my perspective on interruptions. When my plans are derailed by sudden illness, spilled milk, or emotional meltdowns, help me see these not as obstacles to my agenda but as invitations to your purposes. In the midst of chaos, teach me to find moments of unexpected grace, the spontaneous cuddles, the profound questions, the belly laughs that happen when I release my grip on how things should be. Help me embrace the rhythm of surrender that motherhood requires, finding freedom in flexibility rather than frustration. I bring before you my physical exhaustion, the bone-deep weariness that comes from meeting needs around the clock. When my body aches from carrying children, carrying worries, carrying the household load, remind me that you promise strength to the weary. When sleep deprivation clouds my thinking and shortens my patience, multiply the effectiveness of what rest I do receive. Help me care for this body that serves my family, finding small ways to restore and replenish rather than running on empty until breakdown becomes inevitable. In moments when I feel trapped by the endless cycle of needs and demands, grant me perspective. These challenging seasons, they're temporary. The difficult phases, they pass. The days are long but the years are short. Help me capture mental snapshots of ordinary moments that I'll miss someday. Small hands in mine, bedtime songs, birthday candles, first steps, lost teeth, school projects. Even in overwhelming seasons, let gratitude find space to grow alongside the struggle, not dismissing the difficulty but accompanying it with appreciation. Lord, I surrender my fear of failing these precious ones you've entrusted to me. The weight of shaping hearts, minds, and souls sometimes overwhelms me completely. What if my mistakes cause lasting damage? What if my weaknesses become their wounds? When these anxious thoughts spiral, remind me that your redemptive power is greater than my human limitations. You can use even my failures as teaching moments when I humble myself, seek forgiveness, and model dependence on your grace. When motherhood feels isolating, when it seems no one truly sees or values the daily sacrifices, you see me. When I long for recognition or assistance but hesitate to ask, give me courage to reach out and build community. When society diminishes the significance of raising children, remind me that in your kingdom economy, these hidden moments of nurturing, teaching, and loving are profoundly important investments with eternal returns. There is no higher calling than shaping hearts to know your love. Every morning when I wake to another day of needs and noise and nurturing, help me remember that motherhood is my mission field. These little people watching me, they're learning about your character through my responses. When I respond with patience instead of frustration, they glimpse your long-suffering heart. When I offer forgiveness after disobedience, they experience your grace. When I delight in their uniqueness, they sense your specific love for them. Even on days when I fall desperately short, my apologizing teaches them about humility and reconciliation. Lord, release me from the expectation that I must be all things to all people at all times. I cannot simultaneously be fully present mother, attentive wife, devoted daughter, loyal friend, engaged community member, and growing disciple while maintaining a perfectly managed home. Give me wisdom to discern which roles need my focus in different seasons. Help me communicate my limitations to others with honesty and grace. Above all, teach me to prioritize what you prioritize, even when it means disappointing others or letting certain areas remain imperfect. The constant noise of motherhood, both literal and figurative, sometimes makes it hard to hear your still, small voice. In the cacophony of competing needs, conflicting advice, and cultural pressures, I strain to discern your leading. Quiet my anxious thoughts long enough to recognize your gentle guidance. When decision fatigue sets in after a day of constant choices from breakfast options to discipline approaches, grant me clarity for what matters most. Help me create small sanctuaries of silence in my day, even if just minutes long, to realign my heart with yours. When I feel inadequate compared to the mother I imagined I would be, remind me that you're not calling me to some idealized version of motherhood but to faithful stewardship of the real children and real circumstances before me today. The gap between my intentions and my actions sometimes discourages me deeply. I want to be patient, creative, energetic, and wise. Yet I often feel depleted, overwhelmed, uncertain, and reactive. Bridge this gap with your sufficient grace, and help me celebrate small victories rather than mourning unmet expectations. Lord, I surrender my children's future to your capable hands. My anxious planning and worrying can't add a single day to their lives or guarantee their happiness. When fear of the unknown threatens to consume my thoughts, their health, their choices, their faith journey, anchor me in the present moment where your grace is sufficient. Help me prepare them for adulthood not by protecting them from all hardship but by showing them how to trust you through difficulties. May my faith during family challenges become a foundation they build upon rather than question. As I navigate the chaos of daily life, school forms and sport schedules, meal planning and midnight fevers, show me glimpses of the sacred within the ordinary. Let me see your presence in sticky kisses and scraped knees, in bedtime prayers and breakfast conversations. Transform my perspective until I recognize that what feels like interruptions to my productivity are often your invitations to purpose. The dishes, laundry, and errands will always be there. But these moments to shape hearts are fleeting gifts not to be squandered on distraction or resentment. Lord, I ask for a supernatural patience that outlasts my natural reserves. When small people ask the same question for the 100th time, when simple tasks take 4 times longer with helpers, when bedtime stretches into an hour-long saga, multiply my endurance. Replace my instinct to rush through moments with the ability to remain fully present. And on days when I fail miserably at patience, When sharp words escape my lips and regret follows quickly behind, remind me that your mercies are new every morning. Each day offers fresh grace to begin again. I surrender to you the mother guilt that constantly whispers I should be doing more, being better, trying harder. This guilt serves no productive purpose. It only steals joy and creates anxiety. Replace these condemning thoughts with your truth. I am deeply loved, specifically chosen for these children, and completely covered by grace. Help me recognize the difference between conviction that leads to growth and shame that leads to despair. When I need correction, guide me with your loving wisdom rather than the critical voices of comparison or perfectionism. As I share this prayer with other mothers who understand this beautiful struggle, I pray they too will find freedom from anxiety in your presence. If you've been encouraged by these words, please share this video with another mom who needs to hear she's not alone in the chaos. Together, we can build a community of mothers who support each other through prayer, encouragement, and authentic connection. Remember, the God who created the universe sees you folding laundry, wiping tears, and making lunches, and He calls your work sacred.